welcome to the Ruby and Roses podcast. My name is Addison, I am 16 years old, and I am coming to you from Missouri. I am the dyer behind Ruby and Roses Yarn, and where you can find me on Instagram and Ravelry will all be down below. So yeah, this week, guys, has been nuts. I feel like I've just dyed so many new colorways, so much yarn. If you would be following me on Instagram, you would have seen all of the new colors. It's been so fun. I just have been just brimming over with inspiration, and just seeing all the new colors come together has been super fun. Yeah, so plus it's been really fun because it was 4th of July yesterday, and I hope you guys had an amazing one. We had a really fun time. We got to go and see some fireworks and just hang out. It was super chill, really fun. Normally there's a carnival, but since, COVID, we were all in like this massive parking lot and everyone was just in their cars, so it wasn't like the normal 4th of July, but it was still really fun. So yeah, guys, I have a finished object this week. Can you believe it? It's not like my second finished object since I've podcasted. No, I don't think it's been my second. I think I've had more than that. But you know what, guys? As you can see, I'm filming in a different area this time, which this is probably the last podcasting place I can think of, because I think I have 3 cool spots in my room, which is a lot, I guess. But anyways, so as you can see, where I was going with that, I have cast off quite a few things. So it's not like I just have never finished anything. But yes, as you guys can see, I cast off my plume shawl. Oh, I was so ready for this to be done. I loved knitting on it, and yeah, I just did not like that I modified all the short rows on the edges. So if you would have been following along, you would know that I am knitting the Plume Shawl by Melody Hoffman, except I modified the short row sections. I completely did my own thing. I just wanted to make them really wide, really deep. I really wanted this to be a really pretty wraparound shawl, and so I've really achieved that effect, I think. I will have finished object photos at some point once I can, I'll post them on Instagram. So if you follow me on Instagram, you can see the finished object photos of me wearing it, because I'm not going to put it on today because I'm cramped in the corner. But yes, anyways, I just love this shawl. It was really worth it, because now I have the instructions, and now if I want to ever knit another one, which I'm sure I will, it'll be all ready for me to do it, because I've already done all of the hard work. So let me show you some of my favorite parts on the shawl, making sure it's the right side. So as you can kind of see, this is kind of what it looks like. There we go. So it's just this massive triangle, and then you pick up stitches along the edges and make short row edges. You basically knit each edge at a time, and then I wanted to have several rows come together. I wanted to have 4 garter ridges on each side, about an inch, and then I just seamed that up. It looks really pretty. You have 2 stitches on either side, and then my when I stitched them together, which was what I was going for, and it hasn't been blocked. So I was refusing to work on this for a while. I'm like, I don't want to figure out the short rows and everything. And I know I said I was going to put in a lifeline, but I ended up not doing it, because I decided if I mess up on this, I am just going to rip back that section and just redo my short rows that way, instead of ripping back the entire thing and then fixing the short rows. So that's what I did, and I was really only worried about it being symmetrical and having my angles be the same. Those were the 2 main things, because if I had, German short rows in the wrong places, I was trying to kind of move them back, which I had to do a couple times, but that probably makes no sense, but I don't know how to explain it. Anyways, it's a finished object. I can put it on like this. See, it's so big and just amazing. Boy, here's the tip. Goodness. But yeah, oh, it's so pretty. I just love how big it is, and it's just so warm and cozy. And I used my rose gold base and my rose cloud base held together. And okay, this Surrey I am obsessed with. Having it next to the skin is just the softest thing ever. If you have any kind of, well, all of my yarn is really soft except for possibly the mohair if you are really skin sensitive, but I don't want to say that because I feel like I have pretty sensitive skin. because I've knit several sweaters that I can't wear, which everyone else is like totally fine in, and I'm just like, itch, itch. But yeah, anyways, I really love Surrey. It's just the softest thing ever, and it's just, yeah, so beautiful. And it takes up dye really well. And so the yarn that I used was a one of a kind dyed by me, and then this is Ruby Rose's yarn in the Hermione colorway. On, like I said, my rose gold base and my rose clad base. And it just has the prettiest speckles. That's the wrong side. But you can kind of see. It's kind of hard because the lighting's kind of funky. But yeah, oh, it's so pretty. Anyways, I just love it. I finished this yesterday. Yes. I was like, I'm finishing this today no matter what. I'm having it ready for my podcast. So I just knit on it for several hours, and I tell you what, I bound off this entire I-cord edge all of the way around. Do you see how much I-cord that is? Well, actually, no, this side was already done. Yeah, this side was done because I already did this, and then I knit the other side. So it's basically this whole half plus this part, the yellow part. So yeah, that's still a ton of I-cord. I feel like I just did I-cord for forever. But I love it. Now it's gonna go on my wall. So I think that was pretty much it. I wove in all the ends. I think there was like 30 ends, but I just did not want to block it because of, I didn't know if I was gonna podcast yesterday or today, so I just wanted to be safe than sorry so that I would have it ready to show you guys. Okay, so my very first work in progress for today has been the project I've been consistently obsessed with, I should say. Normally, I just like love a project and then I kind of put it aside. It just depends. But I'm holding it in my homespun house basket that I purchased several months ago, right before she closed up shop. It's just a really pretty basket, which I love to display around. They're super pretty. So I am knitting my Habitation shawl throw duo. It's actually the Habitation Throw on Ravelry by Helen Stewart. And I am using, these are all one-of-a-kind yarns pretty much. There's a couple of mine in here. And this is how far I've gotten so far, which is just nuts. So I think I was like about halfway through this section, so I've knit quite a lot. And I would have had more done except for I laid this out and I was like, there's way too much like deep dark colors in here and not enough blues, like deep dark pinks and purples. I feel like I wanted to have some more blues like I did down here, if that makes sense. Like we have this beautiful like green kind of blue and then just an ice blue. So I wanted to have some more blues, and my magic knot ball, I was 3 colors away from being dead center. And this is what it looks like. So I did not really want to use this color. This was in my May Advent that I did a while back, and I just did not want to put it in because I wanted to switch it out for some blues and other colors that aren't in here. So I pulled out all the skeins that I've dyed, and I wanted to lay them out because I want to do a mini set, and then I can just put that mini set into this. And so it's going to make this thing even bigger, but I do not mind at all because it's not as long as I thought it would be. I thought originally it was going to be 8 feet long, and I have no idea where I got that from. I think I was measuring if it was stretched completely because I know superwash stretches, like on the edges, not on the middle. And then it was going to be like 8 feet, possibly. I don't know, I still have a hard time believing that. But I feel like it's going to be the perfect size. I did try this on because I want it to be just a huge wraparound shawl that's just so cozy and elegant and yeah, just really pretty. And then it's also like the perfect size for a blanket, I feel like, because like most of the time I want a blanket that's just like not massive, just so I can, it's just light and airy, and it just, there we go, that's like the full width. So yeah, it's like a really good size blanket, I feel like. A perfect size blanket, can go as a shawl as well. So I just really love this. I can see myself knitting more of these totally. I can like, as soon as I cast this off, I feel like I will always have one on the needles. And so why I've stopped, because like I said, I wanted to add in like 5 more minis, and then I am going to be keeping this really beautiful like ice gray that I dyed along with Butterfly Kisses. That's also my yarn. It's that pink. It's not really focusing, but it's this really pretty pink, and then this gray I also dyed. So I'm keeping both of those in there. And then I'm going to be adding, I think, 6 more of my colorways. So yeah, 20 gram mini sets are coming soon because I've got to start knitting on this again. I miss it so much. I've come this close to saying I'm just going to cast another one on until I dye these. And I could just keep it put away, but I'm not. I'm having self-control. So, okay, so that was my Habitation throw by Helen Stewart. All of the yarns are either one-of-a-kinds dyed by me or by Molly of A Homespun House. And yeah, so just really beautiful. I'm loving this knit so much. I cannot recommend it enough. Oh, and I've also got a lot of questions about the edges and how I modified this pattern. So if you would have watched last episode, I was trying to figure this out, and I decided to do a stitch marker 10 stitches in on either side, and then I would just make sure that I would not yarn over. I would always keep the 10 stitches there, which that did not work because I was moving it over one, which completely defeated the purpose, which I guess I just had to trial and error and figure that out. So I did. I figured that out, and I was just, that's one of those moments when you're like, how did you ever come to that conclusion? Like, that's just so stupid, but whatever. Yeah, anyways, I really thought about it, and I was like, how am I going to do this? I decided to, I didn't count my stitches because it would be pointless to figure out how to keep it from increasing on one side and decreasing on the other. But then I realized I had on every one, like I would have, this is basically just yarn over knit 2 together, which I'm sure anyone could guess. I'm not giving away anything in the pattern. It's just easy eyelet, yarn over knit 2 together. Okay, so I'm gonna try to explain this to where someone can understand it, but I was hoping to get a perfect edge, except I knew that it would have to curve a little bit because of the way this is set up. So I have an odd number of stitches on here. So I have the 3 on either side and then an odd number in the middle, which is still an odd number. And I just did a knit 2 together, so a knit 2 together on the edge of my I-cord edging. So I would have a knit 2 together on the edge here, and then I have a knit 1 on the edge here. So like knit 2 together, knit 1, knit 2 together, knit 1. So that way when you have an odd number of stitches, you can calculate that out. So as you can see, I started doing that about right here, and my edges are really perfect, as opposed to this disaster. Can you see that? Like a complete, it's just bowed. But I really believe that I can block this out. I feel like as long as I stretch it a little bit and you could pretty much fix a ton with blocking. So I hope that makes sense. So if you're wanting to do this, I increased 80 grams. I just did to the pattern 80 grams, and then I decided to just knit straight. I have kept up with the I-cord edging, except I did obviously stop the decreases that she used, and then I just did I-cord edging, and like I said, just count and make sure you have an odd number of stitches. And as long as you do that, then just make sure you alternate knit 2 together and knit 1. And it's really simple to check because as soon as you're beginning every row, you can just look down and see, okay, this is a knit 2 together, so my next one is going to be a knit 1. And then you can also double check on this side that the one that was knit 2 together on the other side is a knit 1 on this side. So it's really simple to just double check to make sure you're doing everything correctly. So I hope that made sense. I will try to answer any questions about it, but it's pretty straightforward. I hope you understood that, but yeah, it's super simple now that I figured that out. And like I said, I'm really confident I can block out the edges. So yeah, I love this, you guys, so much. Oh, it's so pretty. I just want to wear this, like, if I get really dressed up, like with like a black dress, I feel like would be so pretty. So elegant. So yeah, I'm loving this. And as soon as I dye up those minis and they're dry and everything, I'm going to be caking those up and starting with those minis. So that is exciting. Okay, a new project I have pulled out of my massive whip pile is my Brioncho by Stephen West. I cast this on like in October when, so I'm pretty crazy because, so Chelsea Chelsea of the Legacy Fiber Arts, she has a Patreon account, and she does, or Patreon page, I guess, whatever you call it. She's on Patreon. And so I followed her on Patreon. She was doing a knit along for just a brioche knit along. And I've been desperately trying to get good at brioche and to enjoy the process, because I feel like at first I was super intimidated by it, which I'm not really intimidated by a lot of knitting, just brioche was really intimidating me. So you can kind of see that this one is brioche, has that brioche panel here. I'm sure I'm going to get tons of questions, so I can just go through these super quick. But this is my Birds of a Feather by Andrea Mowry. This is Exploration Station by Stephen West. This is Blooming Brioche by Brandy Velton. This is a pattern by the Crazy Sock Lady. This is the Road Trip Shawl by Kemper Ray. This is the Dust of Snow Wrap by Helen Stewart, and this is the Color Crate Shawl. So I kind of ran through those really quick. But needless to say, what I was going for is this has some brioche in it. This was my very first brioche project that I did, and yeah, it was super fun, but I still was like ready to have it off the needles because I was not really enjoying brioche. And this wasn't enough brioche to really matter, I feel like. I knit this one after I did this one. Anyways, I cast on a ton of complete brioche projects, which looking back it was just really silly, but that's kind of like what I do whenever I'm dreading something. I just surround myself with it and just do it till I like it. Anyways, so here is an all over brioche oversized poncho. Yes, that oh my word. But you know, my system did work because now I love brioche. I could do it all the time. I feel like I'm really confident that I'm doing a good job, especially on DK weight. DK weight is way easier than fingering weight, so I might, yeah, I have several fingering weight cast on, and that might be, I don't know. I might just take me a long time to finish those, but that's okay, because a lot of projects, you're so much more proud of yourself if you really just push through them and get them done, and they're like completely intricate works of art. I feel like it's really fun that way. And so this is the Brioncho by Stephen West. I do not know where the pattern is because I've been knitting for rounds and rounds of brioche. I don't need the pattern anymore, but there will be a link below where you can find the pattern and you can look at his pictures, but it is just this massive oversized brioche poncho. And the great thing about brioche is it is reversible. It is, so this blue, guys, oh my word. I'm obsessed with this like cobalt blue. It's just so beautiful. So I'll probably wear it this way most of the time. But who knows, this like snowy version is really pretty too. So it's an oversized poncho, so you basically increase and then you just knit straight, and then we're like a little bit above your elbow there's these really big armholes, and so it's sort of just like you're wearing a blanket kind of poncho at the same time. And it just kind of, I'm wanting to make it really long because one, I'm super tall, I have to lengthen everything I knit, like arms, everything. Plus I just love like longer things. I don't really like cropped things at all. So yeah, I'm doing that. So I'm halfway done from where I stopped the increases to this Progress Keeper here, which is by Simply Serving. It's a Dementor from Harry Potter. And so yeah, so I just knit, I'm halfway done after I finish the increases. So I'm halfway done with knitting straight. Then I have another, whatever that was, 4 inches I think, down. And then I'm going to start doing the armholes, which I'm super excited because while Mindless Brioche is super fun, I'm really excited for the more intricate parts where I can split both sides and knit the front and the back. Plus, it's way more fun for me to do flat brioche because you're doing a knit row, purl row, instead of just, well, I guess you're doing the same for this. I don't know why I'm thinking that. Probably because it's so big and bulky and you're just constantly moving this around. I don't know. It's still really fun. I don't know why I'm complaining about it. Probably just because, I don't know. I really am trying to love brioche though, and I feel like at sometimes I really do love brioche, and then other times I'm just fighting with the needles to get to cooperate, but who knows. But I'm obsessed with this panel. That was probably one of the biggest reasons I cast this on, was because of this panel. So it just rests on your shoulders and then it kind of pulls down, so you have like this line here along the increases, and I think this is just such a flattering look. I just love that look of just kind of having it hang down. So it sort of looks like that on me probably. a little bit more. And plus it's going to grow when it blocks too. And the only modifications I made on this pattern was going down a needle size for the entire thing. And I'm using DK weight, and I can't remember if he called for Aran or worsted or something like that, but I did go down a needle size because I wanted it to be tighter brioche. I knit, I'm almost positive I knit the first like 4 rows in the correct needle size, and then I decided to go down a needle size, and then everything else is down a needle size. I did not even bother to rip back because I did not want to do the I-cord edge again. So yeah, completely different gauge, but oh well, I'm going with it. Oh goodness, but I love it. It's so beautiful. It's just going to be almost like waterproof. No, it's not. It's still really nice and drapey, but it's also really squishy, which is just what I wanted. Okay, so that is my Brioncho. It's in another basket, and the yarn that I used was some of the very first Ruby and Roses yarn that I ever dyed, which is super special because this was probably, so I dyed yarn personally just for myself for a really long time, and then, well, a really long time, like maybe like a year, and then I decided to open up my own indie dyeing business, and these were like the very first dye day that I did. I came up with these 2 colorways along with a couple other fall colorways, and these 2 I just love. I just saw them as brioche or color work in my head, and since she was doing the brioche knit along, I just went with brioche. Yeah, I love them. So these were just, you know, I did record them. Who knows where that went? So, I mean, I could tell you, I know how I dyed these. It's really straightforward, but I don't want to recreate them. But I do have a similar colorway in my head of each one of these, but just more intricate, like my normal dye style, not like this. Like I couldn't figure out how to speckle and all of that fun stuff you learn at the beginning. But it's still really fun because I really loved this yarn, and it's so cool to me to have something knit with the yarn, my very first yarn that I dyed, like the very first dye day that I had. So it's really fun. I can even tell you to the music I listened to and everything on that first day. It's really hilarious. But yeah, okay, I have one more work in progress. So if you guys have seen my How I Knit video in the last podcast, I was working on this. This is my Into the Bloom cowl that I designed, and I am just loving knitting on this. This is my Hagrid's Umbrella colorway on Plump Rose. Boy, I wish my camera would focus. It's just not happening. Anyways, filled with like tons of blue, green, pink, like just really fun colors in here. Like I put some green on some neon pink, and I did that because I wanted to have like a neon black, which sounds really kind of weird, but it is just so cool. Every time I get to that section, it's just like, wow, like it's just like a vibrant black kind of. I don't think my camera would pick that up, but just like the prettiest. Like I'm trying to zoom in on that speckle, but yeah, it's just like a really beautiful neon black. But anyways, I'm loving knitting on this. Again, it's just my own pattern, and it's just such an addicting stitch. You just never feel like you're bored, which I feel like is super important in a pattern. But yeah, I love it. It's really fun, and since I am using a yarn with a shorter yardage, I'm just going to just chop off a few sections. So I'm probably only going to knit to like color 8 possibly. I don't know, I haven't done the math, but I think I'm just going to see until I run out of this. But it's super easy, I feel like, in this pattern to just chop rows because it's designed for a 10 gram mini skein set. A 10 gram mini skein set. I don't know why I say that. Probably just because people keep asking me how many minis is it, and then I just have that in my head. That's probably why I say that. But anyways, 10 gram mini skein set. You can use any yardage, and any yardage in the minis, as long as as long as you can just cut back a few rows if you're on the shorter side, and that's just what I'm doing here. Yeah, super fun. And then I have a progress keeper on here. This was in a mini set by Molly with not a Simply Serving. Sucre miniatures stitch marker. And yeah, it's been super fun. And in the project bag this was in, there's a sugar daddy. I've been having those a lot lately. I took some with me when we saw the fireworks because I love sugar daddies so much. When I was a kid, they were probably one of my favorite sweets because like my grandparents never really bought me hardly any sugar, like just didn't really give me a lot of candy or anything like that. Plus my mom was a real stickler for sugar and stuff. But my grandpa was a dentist, so it is like, you know, reasonable. But they once bought me this massive sugar daddy. So it was like a traditional size sugar daddy. So it was like this big. And for those of you that don't know what it is, it's like a caramel sucker almost. It's just like really, really hard and thick, and it's just like you just suck on it and it's just like the best ever. And I always just loved the sugar daddy, and I would cut it up. I would like this massive, like hard as rock candy. It was so fun. I would cut it up and I'd have like a tiny piece every day because like I hoarded all sugar I got. And so I got that tiny piece, and then one day I couldn't cut the sugar daddy, and so I had the knife and I was holding it up in the air and I was trying to cut it in the air, which I do not recommend, by the way, and it slid and it cut my finger like right on my knuckle, and it was like a really deep cut, and I was just like, that is so stupid to cut it looking back like in the air. But yeah, so I have like a scar like right here. I don't think you can see it, but it's like just a scar, which is hilarious. That's like one of the only scars I have, is cutting a sugar daddy in the air. Oh, goodness. Anyways, yeah, I don't know why I went on that tangent, but it's really hilarious because every time I think of a sugar daddy, I think of like, yeah, it's really funny. So yeah, I never drink my coffee. Oh, I'm so tired lately because I stayed up so late last night watching fireworks, and then just, yeah, I've just been dyeing so much yarn. It's like coming out of my ears. Oh, I have so much yarn, and it's really fun because my dad is now helping me in the studio. It's been really fun because he's been winding the yarn, and I am packaging, labeling, shipping, all of that stuff, and adding it to the shop, taking photos. Oh, taking photos lately. I feel like I've just done nothing else. I just have a camera just attached. No, it's funny because I have been trying to find really good ways to take photos. I feel like my photos I take, I'm just really kind of lacking on how to take a photo. Like on how to, I've never really learned properly how to take a photo. So I've been kind of researching it, seeing what's the best aesthetic photo. And so I've been doing different photos with my yarn. So I've been slowly trying to do new photos of all of the colorways. So how I will do it is I will just lay the skeins out and hold a skein, and then you can see it in skein form, and you can see it in like unskeined, so you can see all the speckles, which I feel like has been really, really beautiful. I'm really glad I'm like on to this new photography style. And so now I have to go through and unskein all of my yarn. Like I do like 4 skeins. I will unskein, like unwind, and then I will hold a skein, do a picture, have to edit the picture, and then I list it. And it's just really funny because, yeah, I just do not like being on my phone. I don't know why, but I just do. Like a couple years ago, it was hilarious because I was never really on my phone. And I was like trying to, you know, push myself to be on Instagram, and it just was not happening. But I'm really glad I'm doing it now. Obviously, you can't run a business without, you know, some sort of marketing. But anyways, it's just really funny how just constantly photography now. But anyways, my dad's helping me, and so now I can just dye yarn pretty much all of my free time, and then we spend like a couple days a week, just he winds all the yarn, I package it all up and put it onto my shelves, and it's also been super fun because, you know, we can listen to music and talk and stuff. But yeah, so that's been fun. I have a new like studio helper, and it's nice because you guys have been like really asking me for minis. I get so many comments and questions about them, and I'm just like, I need to dye minis. Oh, I will get there, but I love dyeing minis. Those are my favorite things to dye. It's just such an amazing palette cleanser, and I just love dyeing minis, but I absolutely hate winding them. Like, I just hate like monotonous tasks that's just the same thing over and over and over, which is hilarious because my friends love all of that stuff. They're like, you know, like we were talking about picking cotton, and they were like, oh, that would be so fun, and I'm like, no. If you do the same thing every time, like a machine, then yeah, count me out. But Dad, I think he was getting a good rhythm, because like I was trying to teach him how to wind 20-gram minis to see if he wouldn't mind winding those minis, if he likes to do it and stuff. And he did like about 45, I think, and he was getting the hang of it. And I was like, you know, you're doing really good. And he was going a lot faster, and I was like, great, so now I can dye up all the minis and he can wind them. But it would be really fun if that would happen, because then that way I could just be dyeing up so many minis. But I mean, I do wind minis. It's not like I just refuse to do it, obviously. I mean, I have done a million 10-gram minis in the past, which are like 7 seconds a piece. And it's really funny because I feel like people think it's probably pretty easy to wind yarn in the machine, and like I thought it was super easy, except training other people, it's like not easy, because I was like, you know, I've been winding skeins by hand for forever, since I've been knitting, because like I would unskein it to see what it looks like, and then I'd skein it back up and unskein it. So I was constantly, you know, skeining yarn and stuff. But it is really hard, and I don't know, it's just very interesting to see how everyone's brain works and how they end up twisting it and all of this stuff, and trying to see exactly, like, break it down step by step what I actually do and how I hold my fingers and how I do this. And anyways, it's been really, really fun, I think, or annoying, one or the other. Anyways, yeah, I'm just gonna chill tomorrow, I think, and just, yeah, I'm gonna be editing this podcast, so that's always not fun. Oh well. Yes, I am drinking this out of my mermaid cup, what Mariah calls it, my friend. She's like, it's a mermaid. But I love anything pink and mother of pearl, especially mother of pearl. I'm just obsessed with mother of pearl. It's like everywhere. I've also been watching a lot of Downton Abbey. I have just been obsessed with that show lately. It's so amazing. I love seeing like different generations. Like, I love history a lot. Like, I love certain parts of history, I feel like. I love like the 50s and the 60s and the industrial age, like, you know, early 1900s. But it's like, Downton Abbey is like based on like the aristocrats in like the 1920s, early 1900s, and like just seeing their way of life. And it's a TV show. It's super, super fun. I really love the show. It's really fun to watch all the characters. And anyways, it's just plus, okay, I love like the amazing elegant rooms, and the clothes and all of that stuff is just really fun too. But yeah, anyways, I've been loving Downton Abbey. It's probably like, yeah, what I've been doing a lot lately in my downtime, like when I'm knitting, so it's been really fun. So I have some really fun things in the shop. I have the next 3 months worth of Harry Potter clubs available, so July through September's. July's theme is going to be Hermione's beaded bag. It's going to be filled with all the pinks, all the mauves, all the purples. It's going to be so beautiful. I cannot wait to start dyeing it. It's just, yeah, I feel like all my Harry Potter clubs have been just super fun. And then August theme is going to be Cornish pixies. It's going to be the prettiest ice blue, like aqua kind of color. It's going to be really layered. Just all the blues and all the speckles. I cannot wait. It's just so pretty. And then September's, I have something really fun planned for that Harry Potter club. I'm going to be doing my very first yarn and charm club, and Katie of Lock and Lou is going to be doing my charms, and let me just say that these charms are just so beautiful. She has just done an amazing job with these. It is going to be the Cloak of Invisibility. The charm is just going to be completely layered with, I mean, it literally looks like the cloak, the invisibility cloak in miniature. She did that good of a job. And then the yarn is going to be just filled with a bunch of neutrals and pops of color. I'm really hoping to just really dissect the invisibility cloak. Plus I also have an inspiration photo that I feel like is really spot on to what I want to dye. So I will put a picture here just to give you guys a little hint of what I'm going to be doing. Now whenever I do an inspiration photo, I always kind of go off of it a little bit and then kind of do my own thing. So it's not going to look exactly like this, but it's going to be really close. I'm really hoping to have it be a lot like this photo, so I'm so excited. I just cannot wait to just start. I really wish it was September so much, because I just cannot wait to start dyeing this. And I also have my very first Yarn of the Month club in the shop. It's for July, and I've really been wanting to do these for a while now. I wanted to pick an inspiration photo that was like an abstract painting, and that's really what I've been really drawn to lately, because they really show the colors beautifully, and then it's really easy to like do the colors that are in the photo and then kind of put them onto yarn. It's so fun. So I've found a beautiful inspiration photo that I think that you guys have definitely loved. I know on Instagram everyone is just loving the photo. So I'll put the listing here, so like what I'm going to be taking all the color from. Like it's just going to be a really beautiful, like that really light watercolory base that's like purples and blues and grays, and then I hope to have some really dark intense speckles on it. Like intense, but like it's just going to be really soft, and then it's going to have like really dark speckles. I cannot wait to start dyeing it. So that's in the shop. I also have my Advents. My Advents I'm going to be dyeing up this week. I'm going to start dyeing them up because I really wanted to get a really big head start on them, so I don't want to ever be stressed with these Advents, like, oh, I have to get them out and all of this stuff. So plus it's my first one, so I don't know how long it's going to take me. You know what, I think I'm going to put on a shawl because it's pretty cold in here. I have no idea why. I'm just cold. I'm cold all the time. Oh, this is much better. It was really cold in here. So I'm going to start dyeing my Advents up this week. I have all of the packaging materials all picked out. I was looking for a long time to find the perfect bags, because I wanted to have them in red and green velvet drawstring bags, each mini, since they are going to be individually wrapped, so you can open one every day of December leading up to Christmas. And they're all going to be like hand stamped with the day of the month that they are supposed to be opened on. And then I'm going to have them individually labeled with the colorway names. So I've bought a lot of labels so that you guys will have them individually wrapped, and I really love the style of labels I picked out. So anyways, it's just really kind of cool, because I've been, feel like I've been researching to find the perfect red velvet bags, because I am a red and green Christmas girl all the way. I just think it's so traditional and just fun. It's going to be a cozy Christmas theme. It's just going to have all of the coziness and all the fun activities during Christmas and during winter. And it's just, so fun. I already have some colorway names picked out, and I already have my color inspiration that I want to do. And it's just going to have tons of color that is going to just have a bunch of neutrals as well, so it can just tie it all together with tons and tons of speckles. I just cannot wait. It's just, something that's just going to be so special, because Christmas is definitely my favorite holiday. I just, deck my room out in Christmas. So it's just going to be really fun to finally be able to dye my own Advent. I feel like it's just such a special thing as a dyer to just, you know, pour your heart and soul into, yeah, something that everyone can share like on your favorite holiday and just on Christmas. It's just so special. So yeah, I hope you guys love them. And yeah, I think that was pretty much it. I'm just gonna start dyeing those. I just have a set number of Advents available, so once they're gone, they're gone. But I definitely think they're gonna last for a couple months, so you guys have time if you, are still considering. But yeah, I think they will definitely last for a couple months. But like I said, I don't really have any idea because this is my first Advent. But I don't know. It's just kind of, I'll just have to play this one by ear. But I'm really excited to start dyeing them, and the full skein is going to be so beautiful. I already have that, like, it's just like really in my mind, like what I want to do, and it's just going to be so beautiful. So yeah, if you can afford the full skein, then definitely get it. It's just going to be so pretty. I was joking on Instagram, I'm like, I want to dye this one first, but I'm not. I also have a new listing in the shop. I have a couple, and they kind of tied together. So I should have done this like forever ago. I just couldn't figure out how to do it exactly, but one of the listings is it's called Yarn Info. It's pretty much at the top of my page and top of the shop, and it's called Yarn Info. So you can look in the description, and it lists all my bases. Yeah, all the bases that I offer, all the contents, and all of that stuff. And then I also have a listing in there that's for sweaters quantities. So you can pre-order any of my colorways as long as they're not one of a kind and there's no minimum order. So you can purchase one skein or however many you need for your project. And so I've been wanting to do that for a while, instead of just having, that way you guys can pick any colorway you want, any base, anything. And so you can look on the Yarn Info base to see what base you want, and then you can just go to my sweaters quantity listing. After you have your base, your colorway, and your number of skeins picked out, then you would just add 3 of those into your cart. And then in the notes section of your order, you would just do, like if I wanted my fragrant rose base, you would do fragrant rose. Then you would write the colorway name, so Victorian. And then you would do the number of skeins you want, so like 3 skeins. Or however many skeins you want, like 2 skeins or whatever. And yeah, so you guys can just fill in however many skeins, the base, and the colorway name, and yeah. And then just, that's it. And I feel like it will be super simple for everyone to just be able to, that way you won't have to contact me. It'll all be there. You can just purchase whatever you want. I will have to take this down if I like reach capacity, if I can't dye them all in the 1 to 2 week turnaround time. So I'm hoping to just have it be 1 to 2 weeks. That way it'll be super quick that way it'll be a really quick turnaround time. And yeah, and then as soon as I dye all those up, then I will reopen the listing. But who knows? Who knows? I'll just have to play that by ear as well. I also have a sale going on at the moment. I am having everything on sale that is one-of-a-kind colorways or retiring colorways that I started dyeing when I was just beginning, and I kind of just want a clean slate now, so those are retiring. And then I have revamped 2 colorways. So my Whispering Pines colorway I have revamped because that was one of my very first ones. I love the name. It's just really special to me, like I've said before, because we live like in a forest of pines, so I love pine trees. And so yeah, anyways, I have revamped that with my new dye style with a bunch of different speckles, and if you stick around I will show that in my shop tour. And I've also revamped my Comfort colorway because it was not dyed as a tonal, it was dyed as like almost a variegated in a way. I don't know. It was like, yeah, partly variegated, but I want to make it a tonal now. So those 2 colorways have been revamped, and then I am just going to be retiring all of the other colorways that are on sale. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I just wanted to touch base on the sale, and yeah. So thank you guys so much for joining me here today. I hope you enjoyed it. And yeah, just thank you so much for your support. It really just means so much. I just love dyeing yarn for you guys. So I will talk to you guys hopefully in another couple of weeks. And yeah, I will talk to you guys later. Bye. First up, we have Hagrid's umbrella. This is what I am knitting my Into the Bloom cowl with. This is what it looks like skeined up, and this is unskeined. So you guys can see all of the speckles. I love how well they blend together. This is Whispering Pines. Like I said, it's been revamped. I just love how this beautiful light gray just blends perfectly with the green. This is what it looks like skeined up. This is what it looks like unskeined. I just love all of these beautiful speckles. And this rich green. Here is my tonal colorway that's Cedar. I just love this one. I love all of the tiny, tiny micro speckles all over the skein, and it just pairs so beautifully with Whispering Pines. I just think these would be so amazing together. I also dyed up quite a lot on mohair. It's just so beautiful and silky. And after these sell out, like I said, I have a sweaters quantity listing, so you can pre-order any of these if they're not on the base or quantity that you want. And yeah, I just love how fluffy this is. Here's Chicago. It's just such a beautiful blue with a little bit of cream in it. And I just love all of the speckles. Here's what it looks like skeined up. I just think it's so, so cool on DK. This colorway is always such a joy to dye. I just love it so much. This is Chillaxin. It's just so fun. I just love this dusty pink. Isn't that pretty? Yeah, so this is what it looks like in the skein. Yep, so that's Chillaxin. This one is Lake House. I just love this color so much. It's the prettiest speckles. As you can see, they're just super, super fun. I just dyed a ton of sock sets. They were so fun to dye, and I definitely see way more in my future. So this is Lake House sock set, and I just love this mini. And this is the Chillaxin sock set. I just love that section with a really, really fun coral mini. Just think they're so fun together. And then this is the Chicago sock set. Look at that mini. I think it's just match made in heaven. There's also this super fun mini set. It's one of a kind. It's called Bike Ride, which I think just suits it so well. And yeah, I just love this pink, and they're all just super, super pretty. This is my Euphoria colorway. I just think it's so pretty. Yeah, I just really love it. I'll show you what it looks like in the skein. Just has the prettiest speckles. I love this section so much. And it has like lighter variations of the blue with a little bit of like a really dark red, and then some like really pretty lighter reds. This is also a brand new colorway called Starstruck. It's just really pretty. I feel like it's such a classic colorway. And then we have it unskeined here. Boy, look at that. It's like a royal purple almost. So pretty. I also added a bunch of window box on mohair into the shop. It's just so, so beautiful. This is definitely one of my favorite colorways. It's like the funnest to dye. It's just that section right there. Need I say more? So yeah, that has been restocked. And last but not least, we have window box just on all of the regular bases. It's just, this is it on my Fragrant Rose base. Just so pretty. Here's it unskeined. See all the speckles. So that is it. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you guys soon. Bye.